and I'm trying to keep this polite, is in a shambles. There is major infighting between the leadership and other representatives, and it really reached a point when that announcement was made about Taylor Greene, and in fact one of the former state reps and members of the GOP executive committee, Lois Landgraf, said, "She's appalled. This Republican Party does not represent me. It's misguided. It's an insult." How do we bring this El Paso County Republican Party together? What needs to happen?
I think we have to find ways for everyone in El Paso County who's a Republican to get involved, and we're doing that at the state party.
Please.
We're doing that. We'll create any avenue that people need to get our good state reps and state senators reelected in El Paso. We are already creating paths for that, and people are very excited about the direction and the activity that will be available for volunteers in El Paso County. I think one thing we have to make sure we do is get away from making politics so much the world of personalities and take it back to the world of ideas. That is why Ronald Reagan achieved so much as a Republican president. He made sure we were the party of ideas, not personalities. That's why I'm here talking about ideas and solutions, and we're going to continue to do that as Republicans.
And I absolutely agree with that. That's the way it should be working, and that's how we do find solutions. The problem is personalities have become the overwhelming theme, or just the diversion, if you want to call it that, in politics. And it's a tough nut to crack, isn't it?
Well, for one thing, I think we have to stop putting so much focus on the personalities and talk about the solutions and ideas instead. And that's what you'll see coming out from us with the contract with Colorado. And we'll give voters what they're looking for, real solutions for the future of Colorado, not so much talk about personalities and divisiveness. Voters are tired of that. And we're going to talk about the solutions they are looking for.
Okay. I'm just looking ahead to the next election and the challenge to Governor Polis. Any names that are near the top of your list in terms of who might be challenging? We
will be supporting all Republican candidates who come out. We are required to have neutrality in the primaries, but we'll be partnering with every one of our candidates who make it through the primary, focusing heavily on the legislative chambers this year because we think we can make a lot of ground and restore balance to Colorado once again.
Okay. Do you still believe that President Trump is the leader of the Republican Party in this country?
I believe that ideas run the Republican Party in this country.
So do you believe he's the person who is expressing the message that you feel needs to be expressed to replace Joe Biden, to flip the congressional or Senate seats as it relates to President Trump? And how do you feel that might affect the midterm elections?
So before 2024 comes 2022, those midterm elections.
Yes.
That is going to be a Colorado-centric year. We are going to talk about ideas that work best for Colorado's economy, for Colorado's education system. And in 2022, we are going to talk about ideas that work for Colorado. That's why you'll see the contract with Colorado be very successful, come out in August, and talk about what voters are looking for, Colorado-centric issues in 2022.
So, President Trump has not officially said that he's going to run, but in his conversation with Sean Hannity last week, it basically sounds like he wants to right some wrongs that he's already seen with the Biden administration. Where do you feel he plays a role, if at all, in Colorado Republican politics in achieving those goals that you want? Is he the right person to express our message?
So I was elected to be the chairman here in Colorado. We are going to see a governor candidate from Colorado. We're going to see a Senate candidate from Colorado. And in 2022, it is going to be Colorado Republicans leading our party. Let's talk about election reform.
Hang on a second here. I have too many notes here. I want to find something that I've written down.
Hold on. Do you want some water?
Sure, thank you.
Do you guys want any water?
Yeah, my mouth's a little dry. I had a bottle there somewhere. Well, I wanted to talk about the, I don't know if you saw the group of clerks and recorders have come together and basically said they want, you're still rolling, right, Kevin?
Yes.
Okay. Essentially, they don't want to really change the process, which we've seen in other states like Arizona, Georgia, and frankly, proposals have been introduced all over the country to try and, well, however you want to identify it, some call it voter suppression because Republicans didn't win or what have you, but it looks like, at least from a standpoint of transparency and certification of signatures, voter roll changes to make sure the people who are voting are those people and they're still on the roll. Anyway, what changes, if any, are you supporting as the head of the GOP as it comes to election reform, the process?
Sure. I think any reasonable person would support the changes the Colorado Clerks Association has put out there. Those are reasonable changes. As Republicans, we support transparency and fairness in elections. Every person who should be able to vote should be able to cast their ballot. That's what we believe in, and I think those recommendations were very common sense and reasonable.
Do you believe that there is necessity in Colorado? I know we have no matter what party you talk to in this state, we have a very good system of tabulating, verifying, certifying, auditing. Are you satisfied with the process here in Colorado?
You know, I think there are always improvements that can be made, and the bottom line is that every reasonable person believes in transparency and security in our elections. So as a political party, our job is to make sure citizens can be activated. And if they want to be an election judge, if they want to be a poll watcher, they should receive training to be able to do that and have their eyes in the room when votes are being cast. That's part of democracy, and we support that.
And President Trump still continues with, the stolen election, the fraud, all that stuff. Where do you come down on his comments still rehashing what happened and something that frankly can't change?
I come down on focusing on the future of Colorado. No matter what conversation we're having, we have to talk about the solutions that make people's future in this state better.
And, go ahead, get the water, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yep. You like one?
Oh, yes, thank you. I think
Kristi, you've been in what, 35 counties now?
I have, yes.
That might be a good topic.
Yeah, she did mention that earlier. I meant to ask you about the environment and renewable energies, the oil and gas controversy here in Colorado. A lot of pushback from both sides on what's the right path. Do you see a reasonable compromise for Dems, Republicans, unaffiliated voters when it comes to let's look out for the jobs and protecting jobs in the oil and gas industry, the traditional energy jobs, versus developing green technology that we're investing money in, taxpayers are paying money for? Do you believe a compromise is possible in this current state of Colorado politics?
With Democrats in supermajority control, I don't think any sort of compromise is possible because they ram through whatever they want to do and destroy thousands of jobs in the process. But Republicans are the party of innovation. We absolutely believe there are multiple answers and multiple solutions. We are the party of conservation. Teddy Roosevelt was the first conservationist, and he was a Republican. We believe in a clean, healthy environment for all people. We do not believe people's opportunity and jobs and innovation in the oil and gas industry should be trampled in the process.
So you believe it's being trampled, like in the process of like doing away with it altogether, that it's not even going to be a factor in our economy anymore?
That's absolutely what's happening under Democrat control of Colorado. Oil and gas are being kicked out of our state. The energy industry here is being absolutely devastated under Democrat control.
The future, though, of renewable energy and the arguments being made by those who support that development about investment that will result in jobs training, and counterbalance whatever job loss there might be in the traditional oil and gas energy industry.
Look around Colorado with Democrat control. There is no counterbalance. There is job loss. Our economy is being devastated under King Polis and the Democrats' control in Colorado. They are kicking energy out of our state, and that's going to continue to devastate not only our economy and jobs, but also our kids' education. Education dollars are also reliant on the oil and gas industry, and we're going to lose those under Democrat control.
Do you believe, other than your call for the investigation of Governor Polis on the nursing home situation, that our state government has handled the COVID crisis appropriately?
I think it's absolutely appalling that Jared Polis declines to go on camera to answer for what his administration did to residents of the nursing home.
Well, I'm talking about, put that aside.
Well, it's impossible to put that
Okay,
aside.
well, we already talked about that, and you already gave me an answer about that. I want to know about just the overall reaction by the state of Colorado to the COVID crisis. Do you feel we did what we needed to do to get to this point now?
So let me tell you what an unaffiliated voter recently emailed me to say. They said they believe Jared Polis is hiding a lot of information about how he handled the COVID crisis because he declines to go on camera. He
Did
was
they
happy.
give you facts,
He
or
was
did they
happy
just-
to talk to
or
the
were they
media.
just regurgitating something they heard from like you or
He
someone
was
else
happy-
who doesn't like Polis?
He was happy to talk to the media
Okay.
whenever he wanted to be the hero. Now, when questions are being asked about his response to
Right.
COVID in the nursing home, he hides and he won't show up to answer voters. Whether we're talking about Republicans, unaffiliated, or Democrats, they believe there's a problem with their governor can't go on camera and answer for what he's done.
Where do you see the Republican Party leadership moving forward in terms of having an impact on how, if, God forbid, we have to deal with another phase of the COVID variants, et cetera, is there enough pushback? Do you feel that they're listening? But I have to ask the question, but I have an idea of how you're going to answer it, but please. Was there enough input from Republican leadership to help at least broaden the discussion or options for the state in dealing with this, and if we have to continue to do that moving forward?
Jared Polis operates Colorado under one-party control. He does not talk to Republican leaders to try to find the best solutions for small business owners, for families, and for people who need to stay healthy. If he really cares about the future of Colorado in other crises, he needs to involve Republican leaders in the solutions.
One final question. I wrote it down. Again, forgive me. I'll make sure I have my bases covered here. Oh, it was about the speech you're going to deliver to the luncheon on Thursday. Man, where did I write that down? I'm sorry. And maybe you've already answered this question, but I want to just get it because it's something that's going to happen this week. And oh, so anyway, when they sent the email, they said that basically the theme of your speech will be what's happening with the state GOP in Colorado. So what do you think the headline is going to be coming out of your speech on Thursday?
The Republican Party is back on track to win in 22. There is no question that as we brand ourselves with our contract with Colorado, and as we work to take back legislative chambers, we can restore balance here in Colorado and give the voters the solutions they are looking for.
Beautiful. Thank you for your time. Is there anything
Thank you.
else you'd like to add?
No, thank you.
All right. Thank you.